Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm back with another winning game analysis in Season 3. This one's Week 10. So if you've missed the first couple videos, what this is I'm not that great of a player. I don't have the Twitch streamer level combat skills. I can't build particularly well, but I still manage to maintain about an 8 to 10% win rate. And the way I do it is just with good game decision making and reading the flow of the game. And I think that's something that really anyone can do. So I'm hoping that this video is going to help some people get their win rate up a little bit. So let's just go ahead and start with the drop itself. We had a bus going west to east along the north half of the island. So I'm actually dropping with a lot of people here at Pleasant Park. The reason I'm dropping here is I still need one more kill for my weekly challenge. And since I know there's a weekly challenge, I know there's probably going to be a lot of people here dropping with me. The first thing I do is look for loot on the ground. The best thing that you can get right off is a shotgun. After a shotgun, you want to prioritize shields, and then an automatic weapon. So one interesting thing about most shotguns is they don't spawn in chests. If you're looking for a tactical or a pump, you're better off looking for floor loot rather than hunting for chests. Now that I've got my shotgun, I can start looking for chests rather than more floor loot. So I don't find any shields. We do get pretty set up. And we actually land farther away from anyone else than they are to each other, which gives us a little bit of opportunity to loot up a little bit and just start preparing for the fights to come. So we do hear some fighting, and since I need one more kill, I'm actually going to go ahead and head towards that here. So in the early game I like to be pretty aggressive. You know, it's really easy to drop in. Whether you live or die, you don't have much invested in the fight. So right here I'm running up on this guy, and I see a hint of motion up in this upper right corner, and I think it's a door closing. And then, let me rewind it just a second, you can see just the corner of a Dark Voyager helmet, and so I know that there's someone in there. And so my goal becomes get up next to him, get an advantageous angle, finish him off. Now, this was kind of his mistake in leaving his back open to a window like that, so I don't make the same mistake. I create a wall there. So even if you're not breaking the wall, there are things you can do to mitigate having open windows behind you. You can build a ramp inside, but he did not, and it kind of ended up being his undoing. So he gives us some pretty good equipment. He gives us our LMG, and since he wasn't being attacked by anyone else, we can be reasonably sure that there wasn't anyone in the immediate vicinity, and we continue pushing on. So we're coming through here, we're seeing it's already looted, so either the Dark Voyager started here, or he moved here. Now, this is pretty critical intel right here. When we're looking at the metal buildings being constructed, since they take so long to construct, they can really give you a good idea of how recently someone was in this area. Judging by their construction, I know that whoever built them is likely still on top of that house. So I get a little bit aggressive. I expose myself to a little bit of danger coming up here. My instinct is that they're in the house, or in the attic, looting up. So what I want to do is get equivalent high ground. Now they still have some cover over here, but that lets me know that they're not, actively shooting at me as I'm coming up. So coming up here, we see a couple important things. Namely, there's no player right here, and there's an open hatchway right here. So chances are the player came up, destroyed this building, this side of the roof, and then crawled inside the attic. Now we have grenades, so we're going to lead with those. Right here I'm doing things like arcing them off the walls in order to try and get grenade damage back here, just in case he's out of sight. So right here I start seeing him try to break through the wall, so my first instinct is pull out the shotgun, because this is about to become a close range pitched battle. And it turns into one of these, mad dash shotgun jumping battles that I really am not very good at and I don't like. I'm good at them enough to win about half of them, which is really what you need. You need to practice your Twitch skills just getting those shotgun shots and the timing of the pump shotgun, or the tactical shotgun. Preferably the pump, as that burst damage can win you a lucky fight, but any kind of shotgun really is going to help you out immensely in the early game. One of the biggest reasons I die in the early game is I get onto the ground, I find a weapon that's not a shotgun, and have the misfortune of turning a corner into a person with a shotgun, and I don't have the building materials to kind of get ahead of the fight, get on top of the situation, or just the time to kind of analyze what needs to happen. So at this point, I'm reasonably sure that I've cleared everyone in Pleasant Park, and we can tell from the mini-map that that's true. We've got our first zone, and we're really good for it. We're actually in one of the best possible positions. So the bus was south of us. Remember, traveling west to east, so there's not likely to be too many people on top of us, to the north of us, I should say, and we're free to kind of move around a little bit, continue looting up Pleasant Park, and just address threats as they come up. So I'm actually going to speed this up a little bit. Really, I'm just going through systematically looking for better shields, better weapons, trying to hit all the chests I can. So now that the early game is done, I'm prioritizing chests over floor loot, so that I can get building materials without having to farm them up. And because I'm more likely to get rare weapons and materials. So we've got our Scar, we've got full shields, and we've got a blue pump shotgun, so we're pretty much set for the late game, with the exception of a sniper rifle. So I do come up here to this scary house, and I'm going to slow it down. I'm looking for signs that players have been here already, and when I see bricks, I know that there have been players. So I come up, and we're very close to this guy. I'm looking for him, but I don't actually see him right off until I see a tree disappear right there. Then I come up, and I actually see him disappear behind this tree. I'm going to rewind just a second. So he's on our screen for about a second and a half, but I don't actually see him. Even though I'm specifically looking for him, I still completely miss him. You know, like I've said, I'm not the best player. I do miss things. I miss shots, I miss players on my screen, and you'll see a couple more instances of that in this game. So I'm going to go ahead and speed it back up. Right now, the new zone has pushed it off to the far right, and I'm kind of analyzing what I need to do. I can circle all the way around, I can circle all the way to the right, or I can pass directly through tilted towers, which is probably my worst option here. From Pleasant Park, this zone is probably the worst second circle I could have gotten. I have a very long way to run, an unknown number of players between me and it, and the most optimal path is through one of the most dangerous places on the map. So I do choose to travel due east. I want to kind of get by the lake, control that narrow strip. I do see an airdrop come down over here, and in my mind I'm probably the only person in a position to get it since no one has, but I still do my due diligence and build up around the airdrop. Unfortunately, it gives us a golden minigun, so it's completely useless. We come through here, see what the legendary is, and check and see if our shields, or if those shields are in a higher stack than our medkits. Now, I'm going to start slowing it down a little bit again here. You can see that we've got another player coming in kind of perpendicular to us. This is our most dangerous angle. But right now, I'm focused on the building here, because it means a player either has been here or is currently here. So I kind of fixate on this, and I make the mistake of ignoring my back quadrant. And right now, this guy could turn and see us and start taking us out immediately. Fortunately, he doesn't. And sometimes in this game, it does come down to the luck of whether or not someone sees you. Now, he's coming down. I'm going to switch to the drone free, and we're going to take a look at this guy. So, he's back here. He's looking right at us. So it's pretty clear that he knows that we are moving away from him. We're at a good angle for him. He chooses not to engage at the moment. Part of that is I kind of vary up my movement a lot. I put in left and right movements. I jump quite a bit. and that's to kind of deter just random shots. So I turn a couple points to try and clear behind me, but you'll notice I don't actually turn all the way around. So this guy's still watching. We still haven't seen him. And right now I'm checking over here to see if I can see anyone. And this guy makes a little bit of a tactical error. So he's lining up a shot right now, and he takes it as I'm about to get into cover. Now this right here is the first time that he's actually on my screen. I'm not focused on looking for people right now, I'm just focused on getting into cover. Right now I'm seeing construction over here, so that's the first time I kind of figure out where he is. So that's where I'm watching, and right there is the first time when I actually see him in the match. So I'm still looking around just to make sure that no one else is coming up on the fight. I know the construction's going on over here, and I'm just looking for him. I see him pop up again. Now he starts pushing in. So I'm thinking rather than a seasoned player rocking a no skin like I am, he might not be a very experienced player. He's pushing aggressively, he's doing it without cover. So I just feel pretty comfortable in getting a couple pot shots on him. Now I see he's standing fully out of cover with probably a sniper rifle, since that's what he shot at me with before. I have the advantage here with the terrain, so I go ahead and put pressure on him. And now he starts building ramps towards me to close the distance. I think he's trying to be aggressive. Now, I don't know if you heard it just there. I'm going to rewind it just a little bit. The headshot indicator sound. So normally with a battle like that, you'll kind of peek in and out, try and get some chip damage. Once you hear that headshot indicator, the really high-pitched metallic sound, that's kind of your signal to really start putting the pressure on. So anytime you get a couple shots and a headshot on someone with a scar, they're going to be reeling. They're going to be low health, and if you're still at full health, you're going to have a huge advantage. So your objective then becomes keep them from closing into a distance where their pump shotgun could potentially negate that advantage. Really put the pressure on, fire everything you've got at them, and just try and get that extra little bit of damage in. So right here I'm seeing player-made structures. And we've got our next zone as well. So seeing this next zone, since the bus came west to east, and most people generally jump in the first part, the first half of the zone, it'd be bisected kind of like this. So I know that I'm more likely to see people coming from the south into the south and the west into the zone, rather than up here on this northeast side. So right now, we're into the top 10, and I start playing a little bit more conservatively. Normally I play really aggressive up to the top 10, and then I start kind of playing a little bit more tactically. So we've got a couple kills right now. We've got great loot for the endgame. The only thing we're really missing is a lot of building materials. I think I'm sitting at about 200 to 300 right now of each. Enough that I think it's important to come up here and get this wood. And I'm just looking for players around me. So right now I'm just trying to get into the zone. I'm not hearing any shots, any kind of combat or anything. There's a lot of terrain around here where people could be hiding. And my focus is just getting to the zone. So you'll see on the mini-map, we do have one player up ahead of us. And he kind of becomes important a little bit on. And a really good illustration. So right now we're basically looking right at him, and he's on our screen. He's right in the middle of our screen, but he's camouflaged. So I don't see him at all against the backdrop of this tree. So that's the first time we see him. So now I build, because I don't know who all is here. And we destroy this tree. Now, destroying a tree is like waving a flag saying, I'm here. And you can see that he kind of immediately keys in on that. So I'm going to turn. And we can see him right here again. Again, I don't notice him at this point. I'm completely blind to him. He's got a dark colored skin, he's near the tree, and he's not moving. Like a lot of people, I'm really keyed into movement, but I have a hard time seeing still characters against a still backdrop. So we've seen him now on our screen twice, and I still don't know he's there in this game. Right there we see him again. Let me rewind it just a little bit. Right there. We see him on our periphery, but again I don't notice him because he's not moving. So this guy is actually a really good example of a stealthy player who waits and is patient and takes advantage of weaknesses in his opponent rather than trying to be aggressive. Now that has its advantages and drawbacks. The biggest advantage being that probably no one really knows where he is. And again, I look right at him and still don't see him because I'm looking for movement. I'm looking for people coming in from the zone. I'm looking for people moving between trees or on top of houses. I'm not looking for someone just sitting next to a tree and not moving. Alright, so the circle's coming in. And let's take a look at the next circle. This is a great circle for us. The reason it's a great circle for us is because we came in from the northwest, and we can travel back to the northwest side of the circle in order to get into the zone. And there's going to be this huge pinnacle kind of in the way to prevent anyone from seeing us do it. So anytime you can tread ground that you've already cleared, you'll have a better idea of what's waiting for you there. You'll immediately notice new construction, and chances are you'll be less likely to come into enemies if you're trying to play a more conservative play style. So aggro is really good. Aggro will help you get better at the game, but if you're like me and you're not the best player, then what's really going to win you the game is these tactical moments and the decision making and trying to find the optimal paths through the zone to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes and the way that the circle moves. So now, this guy is coming up. We made a tactical error when we jumped out of our fort instead of using the door, and I'm pretty sure he's just completely stalking me at this point. So I'm actually going to go to the drone free, and we'll take a look at this guy. Nothing's really happening with the guys that I'm watching. They're just kind of fighting. So he's right here, and if you'll notice, we're looking right at each other, but I'm going to go back to gameplay. I do not see him at all. He's completely over this rise. My view of him is 100% blocked, and by the time I turn back around, he's almost on top of me. And it's actually, he's still back there, and he's getting ready to jump in on me. And you can see he's crouch walking, so I don't even get to hear him. So he's trying to line up a shot. And right here is where I notice him. I see his little head poking out, and at that point I just panic. I go, oh shit. And I immediately switch, and I switch to the wrong weapon at first as well. And it becomes one of those close range jumping pitch shotgun battles. So luck plays into that quite a bit. The pump does a lot more damage than the heavy shotgun at close range like that, and I get a couple shots on him with the assault rifle. So I don't think he actually hits me in that exchange at all. I think he was trying to wait and see if I would get into a fight or something that he could capitalize on, but instead I turned and cleared my back corners, and I finally managed to catch him. So what I'm doing right here is I'm in the zone, and I know there's fighting going on over here. Where I'm choosing to build is essentially based on the tree that's between us, because I know that I can safely build with whoever's on that that pinnacle, not really doing anything to stop me from establishing myself in the zone. I always leave a door as a way out, and right now I'm just looking to make sure no one else is following me close by, sneaking up on the fort. So I know that there's someone back here now, or rather, this guy is actually taking out some of these trees. And so this is kind of an interesting plan. It doesn't quite work out for me, but as soon as I see him shooting this tree, I kind of know where he is based on where the bullets are coming from. And I set up with my sniper rifle to try and get a quick shot on him. Now it doesn't quite land. It could have if I had taken a second longer to aim, but he also ducked out pretty quick. So now he knows I'm here. So he's looking for me. He's in a little bit more precarious position with the people that he has nearby, but he's also, I think, the biggest threat in this game. He's established in the zone. He's either held that fort or taken it against another player that had built it. And he's destroying trees nearby, which means he recognizes the threats that other players can present to him. So he's kind of my main priority here in the top 5. So right now I'm just looking around, trying to see if I can get a shot on him. So right here he starts shooting at someone over here. So I pull the sniper rifle back out. And I'm not sure why I did that. I think maybe because I thought he might come up here and try and get a shot on me. But I do get his attention, and now it turns into a sniper battle. Now, with a sniper battle, the important thing is minimizing your own exposure and being unpredictable. So right now I have this ramp built up to where I can pop up at any point. Brick is very opaque, so he won't know where I'm coming up from. And I'm just trying to pop up long enough to line up and take a shot and get back down before a bullet can travel back to me. So right there, I do get the shot off. He's up a little bit longer than I am, and his shot goes off to my left a little bit while I manage to hit mine. So this is why even in the final circles, a bolt action can be really important, and just learning to be really patient and precise with that bolt action can help you out a lot. So right now we've got 2 players left. We don't actually know where any of them are. So what I'm doing here is, even though I'm in the circle, it's such a small circle and there's no one else in it, that I move up to establish myself more centrally to the circle so that I can control 360 degrees around it to prevent anyone else from coming in. I make a mistake here in building ramps, and it actually ends up almost costing me the game. You'll see that this pink player is behind this tree, and this ramp that I accidentally built actually gives him an opportunity to sneak up to this tree without my seeing him. So right now there's 2 players left. I don't know where any of them are. I'm just checking the bases of my fort. And this he's pretty patient at hiding. I don't think I actually see him until he chooses to reveal himself. Again, I always leave a door. If you're up above 3 cubes high, you're going to take fall damage. So right here I start noticing this guy. And I don't take a whole lot of time to aim. I am trying to hit him, but I'm also trying to minimize my exposure in case there's anyone else watching me. So the last thing I want is to lose the game right here. So now this guy by the tree, he starts trying to put some pressure on, and I think he launches the only 3 stickies he has, and it's a really big tactical flub, because now I know exactly where he is, and I know that there's a guy who's going to be coming up behind him. So now I don't even need to kill the guy behind him, because the zone's going to force them together and they're going to have to fight because neither is built. So now I see the other guy coming out here. He's noticed him, and what I'm going to do is, since he's my bigger threat, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on him, but I'm not going to finish him right away. I know that they're fighting, he's got a shotgun, and I want to see who kills who and get them to die as close together as possible, and we actually kill them at pretty much the exact same moment, and that wins us the game. Alright, well, that's this gameplay and circle analysis. If you guys liked what you saw, let me know in the comments. If you want to see more content like this, be sure to like or subscribe, and just let me know what you guys think. Alright, thanks for watching.